Hi, this is Sal Jade from the Psychic Healing Academy, and welcome to day 14 of staying positive and staying motivated while you're manifesting your goals. So yesterday we talked about the importance of being able to remove blockages to attracting more clients or more customers to your business or to your projects by putting your energy out into the universe so that it will resonate with people that are looking for what you offer. Today, I wanted to talk about the difference between developing self-compassion and self-awareness for yourself while you're manifesting your goals and being able to overcome procrastination. So I'm going to start by talking about self-compassion and self-awareness and why it's so important to really understand your limits and also be able to work with the materials, which is yourself, that you've got while you're working towards your goals. So in our big, beautiful new age world of self-development, there's a lot of books and courses and, motivating little comments on Facebook about, no pain, no gain, and, work it till you make it. And, that really gorgeous kind of Anthony Robbins thing and the Oprah thing of, pushing yourself to succeed, and those really big gurus that kind of come out and say, this is what you've got to do to overcome your fears and push through it and go right ahead and, work really hard to succeed. And I'm such a big fan of all of this stuff, like I really am. But I'm also aware sometimes that it can be a little bit damaging for the reasons that we explored in our very first video when I talked about, the damage that can be caused and the blockages that can come in if you're constantly comparing yourself to others. Like, everyone has their own unique journey here, and sometimes, you might not be able to complete a task or get something done because you've got something else going on, and no amount of striving or pushing or beating yourself up is going to make that any better. So understanding and having self-compassion for yourself is a really important skill and virtue to develop while you're working towards manifesting your goals. And it can keep you a lot more positive and it can keep you a lot more motivated. So to give you a very brief example of my own experiences, so as an online video instructor, I'm on a Facebook group with other online video instructors, and I'll often see people in there that are doing, incredibly well, like they're hugely successful, and they'll often be commenting that they were up until 2 a.m, recording their courses, and, they did all this marketing and they did this and they had all these big wins. And I can find myself sometimes feeling a bit intimidated and feeling a little bit like I'm starting to beat myself up and going, Sal, you should be doing more. Maybe you're not succeeding more because you're not doing more. But as over the years, I've actually come to try to step back from that and go, okay, look, I know myself enough to know that I work really hard. And I also know that these people that are sitting up till 2 a.m. working, and which I have huge admiration for, like, my body doesn't operate like that. And I can self-help myself till the end of time, but my body, if I stay up past 8 o'clock working on a computer, I get really wired and super stimulated, and it means that the whole next day I won't be able to be feeling focused because I wouldn't have slept properly that night. Like, I'm quite sensitive to computers and electromagnetics, and so if I'm there working till 2 a.m, it means the whole next day for me is wiped out, as well as probably the next night. So over the years, I've had to try to manage, okay, well, how do I, do my clairvoyant healings with my clients and do my work on building up my online courses? And I discovered quite early in the piece that I'm actually a really great morning person. Like, I can get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and go for a walk and come home and do, 6 or 7 hours straight in front of the computer with, barely a bathroom break. So what I've done is I've worked with that clay. Like, that's the clay that is me, and I have worked with that. I basically have a little routine where most days I get up early and, like, when it's still dark, and I work really hard right through the day, and then I'll knock off around 3 or 4 o'clock, and that's it. And I won't try and push myself any further beyond that. So that's how I've kind of developed a bit of self-compassion for myself and self-awareness. And I've also tried over the years, because I really feel like it helps more than anything, in those moments where things just aren't shifting, and no matter what I'm doing, I can't, like there's a technology problem, or, no matter what I'm doing, things aren't shifting. I do try to step outside and just, tell myself I love myself and have a bit of compassion for my journey. And this is really vital while you're manifesting your goals. Like, I believe, for myself personally, and this is probably why I've never had a personal trainer, that someone's standing over me, and whether that be my conscience or a person, and yelling at me out of a megaphone to move faster and push myself faster, just doesn't work. It's not how I roll, it's not how I operate, and it just actually ends up stressing me out, and often I end up getting ill when I push myself to that limit. So I know myself that that's actually not something that works for me, and I highly suggest, if you're someone who finds that you get very highly stressed when you're working or you're overworking and overcommitting to goals, that you try to pull back and work with that and find other ways around it. But on the other hand, we have the old chestnut of procrastination. And procrastination's a completely different kettle of fish, because procrastination has a really different energy. It's almost like what I call a teenage rebellion energy. And there can be two really important reasons for procrastination. So it's important not to just dismiss procrastination. Like, it's important to kind of dig a bit deeper with it when you feel that you're procrastinating with your own goals. So anyone here who's ever been to university or probably ever written an essay knows what it feels like when you've got a really big essay or a big exam due, and suddenly, for me, when I was at uni, like, my house had never been cleaner. I had the cleanest bathroom on the block. I was baking cookies every day. I was doing everything I could to avoid doing that big master essay. And the simple reason for this was actually not that I was lazy. It was just that I really didn't want to do the essay. Like, I didn't go to uni to do essays. I went to uni to get a degree and to learn about media and to learn about my subjects. So writing an essay on it to me was hugely painful, so I procrastinated. And this is a very natural response to, doing something in your business or your tasks that you really don't want to do. And unfortunately, like, if it's something that you really need to do for your business or your tasks, and you kind of do have to dig in there and find that courage and find that discipline to overcome that. But sometimes it can be actually that you're just not meant to be doing that. And what is really helpful is to get into the habit of, tuning into yourself and going, okay, am I procrastinating because I'm not meant to be doing this? Or am I procrastinating because I'm just, a bit over all this grunt work? Or the third option is, am I procrastinating because I'm self-sabotaging? And this is a biggie, especially for healers, for writers and for artists. We self-sabotage because we feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we're going to be exposed as frauds. So we might, we say, for example, we're meant to put a promotion on Facebook for our latest services that we're offering. Like, say we're a Reiki healer, and we suddenly just find reasons not to do it. We suddenly feel like, oh, I can't find the right graphic. And, we start making excuses, or, my internet's not going fast enough, so I'm not going to do that today. And that is something that, does need a little bit of deeper digging. So going in and going, okay, am I just self-sabotaging myself? And if so, why? Like, why? What am I afraid of? What's deeply scaring me here? One thing, hi Daily, one thing I know that's really common, especially with artists, and you can apply this to if you're running a business as well. Artists often, writers in particular, will procrastinate on doing the daily work they need to do to be successful artists or writers, because they feel like what they're writing is not good enough. So, to be a really good writer, you really do need to be having that discipline to write nearly every day. That's how it works. Even if you're writing absolute junk, you need to be writing every day just to get stuff out on paper. But quite often what can block writers is they'll look at themselves and go, well, if it's not going to be the next big J.K. Rowling, or if it's not going to be the next big Stephanie Meyers, or, whoever you admire as a writer, if it's not going to be Tolstoy, or if it's not going to be, Lord of the Rings, then I don't want to do it. What's the point? And that's when okay, you've got to return a bit to that compassion again. Like, you've got to go back a bit and say, look, I'm just taking baby steps here. So if you're procrastinating because you're afraid that what you're putting out into the universe and what you're selling, or what you're communicating in your message isn't going to be as good as other people's, then you need to kind of go in a bit deep and just be kind to yourself with your procrastinating and just say, look, I'm just doing the best I can right now, and I'm just going to put myself out there and give it a go. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tip about how to tell the difference between when you're procrastinating and how to tell the difference when you actually probably need a nice, solid, beautiful, warm dose of self-compassion. And with your own goals, what you can do after watching this video is go and take 2 or 3 things that you're experiencing blockages around, like something you've been working on for a while, something maybe you put a lot of energy into that's not moving and that you feel like it's not working, and just break it down a bit and go, okay, am I just striving too much? Do I need to find another way to do things that works better with me? Hi, Debbie. Thank you. Do I need to find other ways that work better with me? Because not all molds will fit every person or every business. So just because it's succeeded for one person doesn't mean it will succeed for your particular way. So look at what you can do that suits you and your personality and your stamina and who you are and what you're trying to achieve. And if you really find yourself procrastinating, then, dig a bit deeper. Look at why. Why am I procrastinating? Is it because I really am not meant to be doing this? Or is it because actually I'm just a bit afraid that I'm going to either be successful, or I'm afraid I won't be good enough if people start to notice my work? So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Sal Jade from the Psychic Healing Academy, and I really hope this tip has helped you with removing blockages to staying positive while you're trying to manifest your goals.